Warning, this video contains references to violence, references to Nazism, disturbing imagery, and the original Lavender Town music. Viewer discretion is advised. And oh, there won't be any jump scares in this video. Besides for this one, hope you enjoy the video.
Go to sleep.
'Cause every night I will.
We killed it.
Oh, happy, 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 happy. Oh, happy, 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 happy. He helps kids all day.
Hello, folks and folkettes. It's me, EBRox72, and welcome to a new video. What the heck did I just listen to? It sounded like chipmunks being strangled. That's besides the point. Today's our October video, more specifically, Top 9 Wonderfully Ridiculous and Improbable Creepypastas that I know of. 2 rules for this. 1. Has to be a creepypasta I've read. And 2. Has to be ridiculous enough to be on the list, but still readable and enjoyable. And 3. This is not necessarily a bad list, just a list of the most silliest, so how about I put in the corner a little jack-o'-lantern face to represent how it is, and yes, I'm totally ripping you off of KB Gaming. Sorry. Now, time for the top 9 most wonderfully ridiculous and improbable creepypastas that I know of. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, you know that cute Nintendo game called Pikmin? Yes, the one where you
crash on an alien planet, find the inhabitants, and they imprint like ducks to you, and you decide just for the freaking heck of it to enslave them and force them to kill other creatures just so you get your parts back because you're too lazy to pick them up. And going into battle, killing a bunch of innocent creatures that stand in your path just so you can get a back massager and a piggy bank.
Yeah, that game. And you'll be surprised, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And you'll be even more surprised about the fact that there's only one creepypasta in existence, even though the game is filled with bug murder. And that one creepypasta that's in existence, I'll talk about. Pikmin by Anonymous. It begins with a dude playing his copy of GTA on his PlayStation, and he got a new memory card for his PlayStation and for his GameCube. He did a glitch in GTA which caused all the memory on both memory cards to become all screwy and stuff. He decides to play Pikmin. The usual voice that says Pikmin is different. It's all demonic and stuff. It rustles his jimmies. He begins to play Pikmin. The Song of Healing was playing backwards in a glitchy version of the Forest of Hope. He walks into a big patch of glitchiness, which causes him to no longer be able to throw his Pikmin because they just freeze in midair. He notices a hole. He goes down the hole, even though holes do not exist in Pikmin 1. We're playing Pikmin 1 here, not Pikmin 2. Inside were a bunch of dead bodies, with scared, shocked expressions, like if they watch my earlier YouTube videos in a marathon fashion. And he noticed a carpeted path. Spontaneously, a voice began to talk in German, with English subtitles, which basically was telling you the demise of Hitler, with aliens in it. After a while of the German guy rambling, Omar noticed a big stone swastika in the center of the room. And next a monster came out of nowhere and said boo and tried to kill Omar. Omar ran away and was successful in escaping. Both the German voice basically saying, "I'll get you next time, Inspector Gadget," or player character or whatever. And that's the end of the story. Okay, this one is actually a really good story. I really like it. I sat on a bridge it so much because the fact that this guy's writing style is the best part about it. It's like if you had Ted Allen Poe writing a story, just with some swear words thrown into the mix. Excellentness. The story is really only on this list, and it's by far not the stupidest or ridiculousest or most improbable. I just had to put something at number 10. The rest are much more ridiculous than this. I'm sad because this is the only Pikmin pasta, because there's so much variety they could possibly do with Pikmin. You know Luigi's Mansion for GameCube? There's a creepypasta about it that involves exploding GameCubes that etches the name of whatever game you were previously playing into the mush that used to be your GameCube. Now that's just frickin' amazing and improbable, all at once. And now for by far the most scariest thing on the list. The blue blur being demonic. That's right, it's sonic.exe. Sonic.exe by, who wrote this? I'm not sure. I could not find the original posting. If you know who originally wrote this, please tell me, or at least their username, so I could properly credit them. Or if you're the original writer, please tell me if username or something I could use, so I can add a annotation. Okay, thanks. It begins with a dude wanting to play Sonic Unleashed. He begins to play Sonic Unleashed. Then next he knows the mailman was at the door. He goes outside and picks up the package. The package has a note from Kyle, basically saying that, well, it's too late for me, I'm dead. Destroy the sticks, don't play it, you get the idea. And a game with a Dix called Sonic. He decides just for the heck of it to play it, because he's a moron, like all of these characters from creepypastas. The game begins, and, well, it's the usual Sonic title screen, Sega 1991. And it's a flash for half a second when he hit start with Demon Sonic, Cherry Jam on the ground, and Sega 666. I didn't realize Sega was around that early. There's only 3 playable characters, even though player characters do not exist in Sonic 1. Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Eggman! Okay, well this is kind of cool. We can play as the classic game. He plays as Tails because Tails is the only playable character at this point. Kefka's laugh began to play, and he's now in the Green Hill Zone, just a flat plain version of it. He runs for a while until he notices the dead carcasses of his animal friends, which I believe Russell is the player's Jimmy, of course. After a while, he runs to Sonic. He looks at Sonic, tries to say hi to Sonic, and Sonic kills Tails with a little message saying, now Tails is inside of Angel Island Zone from Sonic 3, but it's on fire. Tails begins to run, gesturing to the player to get him out of here, breaking the fourth wall to itty-bitty little pieces. And Sonic is teleporting around Tails, kind of like Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear, until Tails stops moving for a second with him crying. And Sonic catching up, and the screen cutting to black, a big loud scream, and text saying, now Tails is unplayable, and only player character is Knuckles. Knuckles' stage began to play, and it is the metal pathway from like Screwball stage, I think, in like Sonic 1. And Knuckles looked unnerved and still gestured to the player. After a while of running, Cherry Jam was all over the ground, and the buzzing effect from when Chewy's trying to break into your computer is happening. And Sonic popped up again. He decided to take a nap. What a genius. He had a nightmare, woke up, decided to play Sonic.exe again, this time playing as Eggman because he's the last character left. He began to run around at the speed of sound. Wait, no, not speed of sound, that's Sonic's job. Speaking of Sonic, Sonic pops up, kills Eggman, and it showed disturbing images that makes me now less inclined to play the Sonic games. A picture of Sonic with this evil grin saying, I am God. After this, it says ready for round 2. The guy cannot get the game out of his dick's drive. Right as he decided to play it again, a little voice behind him said something. He turned. And there's a Sonic plushie. Dun dun dun! And that's the end of the story. I have one thing to say relating to this story. My God, this Sonic from sonic.exe has a bigger ego than Duke Nukem. Our first and last Zelda pasta is here today. It is Zelda 2, The Lost Levels. Hope you enjoy. Again, by Anonymous, I think. It begins with a person, like all these stories, wanting to relive their glory days playing Zelda 2 for the Nintendo. So he went onto eBay and saw a buy now item of a Zelda 2 for 99 cents. He bought it, of course, at that ridiculously cheap price. When it arrived, the cover was replaced with markers spelling out old Zelda 2 in dumb leak speak, but he decides to play the innocent classic. The game acted normal besides the fact that you could walk through barriers, like the sort you would need to whack with a hammer, which he used to his advantage and progressed through the game faster. Okay, after a while of him walking around Burning Town, everything was nice. The old lady grabbed and happy and la-di-da flowers. Outside, you hear sounds of apex violence. You would need the NPCs, and Link gets really annoyed and begins to float around the room. Exits the room, saying that all of Hyrule will be mine. The building catches on fire. The townsfolk try to stop him, and they blow up, causing a big icky mess. Link laughs maniacally with this text up here, "Run, Greg, run." Greg, this is the player character we're talking about, looks behind and sees Link there. He doesn't laugh and begins to throw the player character around the room, here, there, and everywhere. A neighbor calls emergency services. He's taken to the hospital. He gets patched up. He researches the cart and realizes that it was from a Native American burial ground where it was made, and that is the spirit of a person that died there. After he learned about the startling news of where this game was built, he decided to resell it on eBay. What a jerk! A random 12-year-old could buy it, like me, of course, and would get his head basically smashed in due to demonic Native American Link of Death. What would happen if I put the writing style of Cupcakes, the sense of humor of Shed.move, and the overuse of gore, the dream version of Freddy Krueger, Earthbound for the Super Nintendo, all in a blender? You would get
The answer is a big bloody mess, which is exactly what this creepypasta is, bound to death by Anonymous. Well, it's always anonymous for these due to the fact that the ones who directly uploaded the creepypasta wiki, they don't give their offers, which is annoying. But getting ahead of myself, this is by far the pasta I like the least in the entire list. I hate you, stupid story.
It begins with
even though it's talking about my favorite game of all
his
time,
glory
Earthbound.
days,
Well, I'm getting
but
ahead
this
of
time with
myself.
Earthbound, which is okay.
Let me tell you the story.
Earthbound's awesome, and you should play it. But his copy no longer worked. It could not save. So he went to a flea market and tried to find it. Unlikely, it is Doom. The only one there is pirated, with a sketchy marker writing the words Earthbound. He buys it and begins to play it. Everything seemed normal. He did the default NES Polish F poo, you get the idea. And until he got to the giant ant. The giant ant was messed up. It was all bloody, crying blood, etc., over goriness, and died, and could not attack. The giant step area was filled with blood, and the music playing there for the part of like 1 of the 8 melodies was backwards. And this is what happened whenever you went to a sanctuary. Everything else in the game was the same, just not the sanctuaries. Until we got to Fiery Step, which was wet. He went to Magicant. Magicant is now messed up. The music is screwed. There's skeletons covered in blood everywhere. Your pajamas are soaked in blood. There's blood in the water. There's blood. I guess that's the magic word of the day. Blood. And there was no krakens in the water, and he got up to fight Ness's nightmare. Guess what? When the battle began to start, Ness's nightmare was covered in blood. Well, it's now renamed Cole's Nightmare, even though he didn't place a nickname in the first place. It basically kept saying that Ness should have not existed. Ness defeated it, but Ness died. Cutting back to the real world, Ness was dead. Paula, Jeff, and Pooh were crying over Ness's dead body, and killed themselves, like blowing themselves up, shooting themselves, stabbing them. You get the idea. Cutting to Porky, being euphoric that they're dead, and opening up the Devil's Machine, and Gygus roaming free and taking over the world and causing nightmare and despair. Using PK Nightmare, and the SNES stopped working. The TV turned off and no longer was able to be turned on. The player was freaked, stopped playing Earthbound or any games in the Mother series, even Ness and Smash Brothers, which is sad. One failed Earthbound players no longer with us because of this dumb, stupid game. Or this dumb, stupid hack. And asked the people at the flea market is, what? Who in the heck sold this? They had no idea. And he had nightmares from now on about reliving what was in the game. With it ending with a black, grayish colored man staring at him. In my opinion, this story's not well made. It feels like the plot points are taken from other creepypastas and tried to be meshed together, which fails miserably. And the overuse of red gooey stuff that comes out of your arteries. In my opinion, this could have been done a lot better, and Earthbound has a lot of material to make creepypasta. It's the one I'm surprised it's not crawling with creepypasta, but no, that's not... That honor goes to Pokemon. Oh no, if you're watching this, whoever wrote this, I'm not a fan of your story, but I don't hate you as a person. Just thought you had to know. Hey, would you want to know what would happen if you leave your dog alone for 3 years? And if it's cannibalistic? With your other dogs? You would get this creepypasta, Nintendogs Noodler, by Invader Ugly, I think. The story begins with a person talking about their favorite little game on DS, Nintendogs, even though they stopped playing it for a while. Told us about his dogs on there, stuff like that. One day, he had to find a couple of games to sell because his mom needed money, and he found Nintendogs again. He decided to replay it, because his mom was not home. Everything was not totally normal, like DS little icon when you turn on a DS to show what game is in there. It's just a red square. When the game begins, well, let me just say, instead of the usual beach scene, hell on earth, mixed in with bits and pieces of his dogs on the beach. He looked around and saw Noodler, which was one of his dogs, which she has, well, looked terrible, and looked like she had a couple of snackies that used to be his dogs. He got freaked and tried to turn off the power. An error message occurred saying it cannot be turned off at this point. He gets annoyed, throws the DS, goes and tries to open the door. The door is locked, even though his door has no lock on it. So he goes back to play Nintendogs. Then next it says, Noodler would like to take you for a walk. Yes or no? He frankly hit the no button, but the game ignored him. And the walk continued to the walkway with a red line versus white. The walk began. Buildings were on fire, skeletons were everywhere, pandemonium ensued. Noodler began to bounce around barking while occasionally going to dead carcasses and turning them into snacks. And next, another walker comes by, but she's a skeleton, and her puppy's a skeleton. She says it's all your fault, everybody's dog is dead, it is just all your fault, you should be ashamed. The player is freaked during all of this, respectively, and the next Noodler ran away for a bit and came back with a present. You found a dog skull, says a message. Happily, she begins to bark and scratch at the screen happily. This used to belong to a neighborhood puppy. It's not as freaky and gory as it's more gory than sonic.exe, but definitely less scary. But isn't the puppy cute when it's not killing people or eating dead carcasses? After this, the player asks just out loud, Why are you doing this to me? You abandoned me for 3 years, says Noodlewort. I'm gonna make you pay. And she began to decay until she was a skeleton. The power went off on the DS. He threw away the game. The door magically opened. And he'll never play Nintendogs again. The end. What the heck did I just read? This was a weird story. Very weird.
And it's now time for Pokemon Puppet Theater. This time, let's talk about Lavender Town Syndrome and all those other Lavender Town myths. With Mr. Skullhead. How are you, Mr. Skullhead? Oh, I'm surprised you can do that, even though you have no fingers. Okay. They're just gonna show us what happens when you listen to Lavender Town's music too much. Okay, in the original versions of Lavender Town, supposedly that was so obnoxiously high-pitched that it could cause people to have headaches, become nauseous, become dizzy, and worst of all, suicidal. Just really bad. There's so much wrong with this. Like, if this did happen in the original version, it would be spread all over the news, to say the least. But that's besides the point. There's tons of videos explaining why this is a stupid story. I'm just going to tell you what the heck is the story. Then there's Buried Alive. Say hi, Buried Alive. Supposedly it's his shtick that in the original versions, at the end of Lavender Tower, he pops up. Basically saying, and challenging the player to a Pokemon battle. He has a Muck, 2 white hands, and a Gengar. And then they go into fighting. But if you lose against him, he turns you into a snack. But if you win, the game will freeze. So either way, if you battle Buried Alive, you're just going to be stuck there.
Our next pasta is a Mario pasta, a haunted Most Mario, by the Repository of Assorted Humorabilia. It begins with another guy wondering what his glory years playing Mario this time. So he goes to a flea market. The only game there is a, bootleg. That's like, I don't know, 2 cents, I believe. He buys it. He plays it. Everything's normal until he tries the good old warp pipe trick. And Nick says, "Welcome to Scary Hell Place." Die. Level starts. Level 666. It's an impossible, ridiculous stage that you might see in lost levels of like spikes in the ceilings. He kept dying until he ran out of lives. He hit game over. Instead of the usual game over screen, we see a flying Mario with angel wings, a halo, and bloody eyes. After this, it cuts to a title screen that says, "Super Die, Mario Brothers," with a massacred Mario in the corner. And next, a realistic voice, that's like CD quality of blast processing, says, "You can't run from the funk!"
Why would you run from the funk? Hit it! I'm okay.
After this hilarious scene, he reset the console. Mario's now back, and he has the player character's face, and the skeletons of the player's family and friends is scattered around the area. Out of morbid curiosity, he starts playing. And a Goomba walks up to Mario. Mario screams, "No mas! No mas!" in high-quality HD 1080p realistic sounding voice. Oh, with flash processing. The player got freaked and stopped playing for about a week. He didn't hear much from his friends and family. He decided to research Mario games, and he found a secret arcade game that was only released twice in arcades on Friday the 13th on June 9th, 1997. It seemed to be weird, and he started playing video games again. He decided to put in Mario on NES again, and didn't when he chose a save file. After this, Mario says, "Why you no stop playing my game?" The player ignored his warning. When he got to World 8-4, and after defeating Bowser, "Sorry, Mario," says Toad, "but the princess is dead." And the princess, yes, was quite dead. Out of nowhere, Lady Ghost came out of nowhere, and Princess Peach is a lady, so that must be Princess Peach's ghost. Woo woo woo. Mario died, and to save select screen, it says Jim is dead, bro. But my name is Jim, says the player character. And out of nowhere, his mom walks in, and she screamed, "He was dead the whole time." Bum bum bum. After this, the player character was not sure if it was a dream, previous life, or alien intervention, but the mom sold the cart in a garage sale. But he asks all the readers out there to believe because of truth. And because the fact that this guy is freaking awesome. In my opinion, this is my favorite creepypasta of all time. Even though it's not #1, this pasta has everything. And it's so wonderful, and everybody should read it. Yes, I expect every single view that's watching this video to go check that video out. Or the actual original version. So, here's a link, and another link, and another link, and another link. And oh, the writer of the story, if you're watching, please write more. You have talent. This is a great story. Please, please, write more. Okay? Thank you. Next entry. A recap before #1. Number 9. Pikmin plus Nazism equals a WFT. Number 8. Luigi's Mansion Beta Dix is awesome. Number 7. Sonic.exe gives me nightmare fuel. Number 6. Zelda 2 Lost Levels. Number 5. Big Bloody Mess. Number 4. Aw, how cute. Oh god, no, ick. Number 3. Lavender Town Syndrome. Number 2. Sheer awesomeness. And now, number 1. Okay. Number 1. I'm sorry about earlier changing the channel on you. It's now your time to shine. Come out and shine. This particular myth has been around for eons, and will probably never go away. It's related to this cute little doll from Sonic R killing people. You know, for kids, right? I'm not sure. Well, the story most of the stories begin with a dude or dudette getting the game, playing the game, unlocking stuff, playing tag mode at midnight, beating tag mode, Tails doll popping up, killing them, etc., 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 icky, sticky, glory mess. This story is utterly ridiculous, but wonderful at the same time. It is the perfect embodiment of wonderfully ridiculous creepypastas, so that's why I had to put it in number 1. That was my list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I did a heck of a lot better than the last list. And please, rate, comment, subscribe, and especially, give me creative criticism. Tell me how much I sucked, because I want to know so I can learn from it. This is EP Rocks as a Big Zoo, and see you next time. Have a happy Halloween. Say, hey, make sure you cut apples so they won't have little sharp beams in it. You get the idea. Wait a minute. Tomorrow's going to be the first day of November. I should work on my winter intro now.
See you guys
Life
next
is
time.
just a moment, a single grain of sand that slips right through the hourglass and slips right through your hand. You've shown me how to make each moment count, and I know now what life's all about. Life is just a twinkle, the winking of the night, a star that lights the universe, a flash across the sky. You came to me just like a shooting star. You gave to me the love that's in your heart. When you live for love, how precious life can be. When you give your love, I truly do believe, if only for a moment, it's a miracle to see. So shine
Chinchar says hi.